I want you to ask yourself these questions. If you're having trouble believing that this is literally hell that you are living in, and you have been condemned to live here. If you're lost in understanding that, I want you to grasp this. When Satan and the fallen angels were cast out of heaven, where did they come? To earth. Here. There was no one here. This place was made for them, and they were cast here. Now the deep thing is, when they were cast here, what did they do? They made it hell. And this is how you need to understand why they deserve to be here. Because they caused a ruckus in heaven in the orders of life. So they were cast to a separate place. Now they could have made this separate place heaven. And in that they would have been glorified and been let back into the allness of the life. But that's not what they did. They were cast out of heaven for trying to make hell. And then when they were cast into this empty place that they could have made whatever reality they wanted, they made it hell. This is why they deserve to be here. And it's a deep thing. If you're wondering, well, I didn't do nothing, why am I in hell? We all take our part in making this place what it is. Everyone. And this is why you deserve to be here. Because you are those fallen angels of the past. That's how you got here. You got to grasp. It didn't say they were all men. But the sperm is the spirit. And they will live in hell for eternity through that. So when a man dies, he has children. And they have children. And they have children. It's a deep thing. Y'all will grasp as I go deeper. Now, if you're having trouble believing, if you're in hell, I want you to ask yourself, why is everyone waiting on a savior to save them from this life? If you're not in hell, why are you waiting on a savior to save you? I don't care what your religion is. You're waiting on Jesus, Isa. Some people don't believe in anything, but they're waiting on death. And they believe in death, they'll get a new chance. So why do you have this yearning that someone's going to save you from this place, or you're going to get some type of new chance if you're not in hell? If this is not hell, why does everyone believe this in one way or not? Here's another one. When Jesus descended into hell for 3 days, what did the people in hell do? They were begging him to save them. Now, what do all the people here do now and always? Oh yes, Father God, Jesus, please, I beg of you, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing. The book is describing where you are. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Everything that you're reading happened already. That's why you're reading it. Now, what is earth made of? Our core is made of molten rock, and the surface is crust. Now, the description of hell in the Bible is fire and brimstone. Well, molten rock is stone and fire. And then we have our crust. And you know all things that burn, they get crusty. So it's a simple but deep thing I have to grasp. We are literally living in hell. In Revelations 14:11. And it reads, "In the smoke of their torment ascends up forever." Now you have to grasp. We've polluted the earth completely out. And it's pretty much like a furnace here, and the smoke rises. If you're looking down on earth, between the cigarette smoke, the oil drilling smoke, all the building smoke, car fume smoke, this is our torment. This is what kills us. So it's a deep thing I have to read. But let me finish the verse. Now it says, "In the smoke of their torment ascends up forever, and they have no rest, day or night." Now, what do people on earth here do if this is not hell? Because people here work day and night. Now you have to grasp. Some people work at nighttime here. Some people work in the daytime. But in a whole, people on earth work day and night without rest. Meaning as a whole, people always work here. Because some work at day, some work at night. But there's never a time where everyone rests. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now let me finish the verse. It says, "In the smoke of their torment ascends up forever, and they have no rest day or night. They worship the beast in his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name." Now you have to grasp. They worship the beast in his image, and they worship whoever has the image. What that means is, y'all worship money. Grasp. This is the image of material things, in pride, in placing yourself above others. This is the beginnings of that, and this is what Satan and the fallen fell for. Now money is spelled with an M. Revenue is spelled with an R. But the symbol for money is basically an S, with 2 lines going in it. And Satan, Shaitan, whatever you want to call him, it's a deep thing y'all must grasp and ponder on. Now let's move along to another. The description of hell is a place of torment and punishment. Now what goes on in earth throughout all of the history of earth? Men being tormented and punished by other men. No one feels like, oh, this is a great life. Everyone feels like, man, this can't be life. And this is why people are waiting to be saved by something. Now let's go into the Zoroastrian beliefs. And they believe that hell is a dirty, filthy place where the food is bad and spoiled. So you eat rotten food. You eat dead meat, and it's a deep thing. Now, in Norse mythology, they believe that there's 9 worlds in the tree of the universe. So they believe the universe is a tree, so to say. And there's 9 levels. But let's go a little deeper. You have a verse in the Quran where they say, hell is lying in wait. This is what hell is, lying in wait. Now, what is everyone doing here? Waiting to die. You don't know why you're here. You don't know nothing. You just work and do what you need to do so you can be a ball in. Pretty much everyone's just waiting to die so they can get the true meaning of life revealed to them. But you're in hell. You have to grasp that. You're going to always be in hell until you grasp something.
69 cents.
And the gas.
Y'all getting any rain up your way?
What way would that be?
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
I didn't mean nothing by it.
I travelled
Didn't mean
north
nothing.
without delay and found
Just passing
lodging in
the
a
time.
ramshackle inn overlooking the expansive bay of
You
the
don't
Cone.
want to accept that. I don't know.
In the
what
evening
else
I
can
sedated
do for you.
myself with drams of whiskey and partook of a supper consisting mainly
Be something else.
I don't know. Will there?
my window offered a view of the sea to the north, and to the west the mountains
Is
of
something
Cape
wrong?
Ness,
With what?
moving
With
black
anything?
dim prominence against the far
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
thrall
Will there
to
be
this
anything else?
wondrous
You already asked me that.
eldritch place. I succumbed to a peculiar bout of melancholy.
Well, I need to
I
see
tried
about
to receive a
closing.
call from
See
some
about
distant
closing?
land.
Yes, sir.
What time do you close?
Now, we're
Closing.
closed now.
Now is not a time. What time do you
myself to
close?
its mournful
Generally around dark.
destiny,
At dark.
and to let my spirit drift over the vastness of the sea. into
You
the
don't know what you're
uncharted
talking
depths.
about, do you?
Our first impression of Anton's appearance is definitely one of oddity. His hair doesn't quite match his face, and his clothes don't fit his appearance either. He has a cold blank stare on his face more often than not, and shows only a few semblances of joy when speaking to other characters about grim subjects. His voice is low, quiet, and gravelly, and he never raises it in anger or otherwise. His motions are at the same time stiff, fluid, and strange. Take when he's eating his peanuts at the gas station. There's just something about the way he places each piece into his mouth that feels off. Yet at the same time, he has the precision and steady hand to sew up a wound on his own leg. It's worth to note that he's also highly resistant to pain, and makes far less of a fuss than your average person would if put in some of the situations he finds himself in. We're never given a background for his character either. Javier Bardem's accent leads us to assume that his origin is some sort of Hispanic, but we're never given any confirmation for this. The author of the book even stated that when he came up with his name, he just liked how it sounded. His entire persona is one of ambiguity, mystery, and oddity, leaving us with a man who seems out of place in the world, an eerie figure from who knows where.
I've been at some pains to recover your property, so I'd prefer not to be addressed as some sort of bearer of bad news here. There's 2.3 mil in that case. I'm sorry I couldn't recover it all. But there you are. The man hadn't moved. After a while he said, "Who the hell are you?" "My name is Anton Chigurh." "I know that." "Then why did you ask?" "What do you want? I guess that's my question." "Well, I'd say that the purpose of my visit is simply to establish my bona fides as someone who is an expert in a difficult field, as someone who is completely reliable and completely honest, something like that."
Someone I might do business with? Yes. I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed?
Sir?
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed?
Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30.
I could come back then.
Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, I got to close now.
You live in that house out back.
Yes, I do.
You lived here all your life?
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it?
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it?
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost in a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. It wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything. Call it.
Heads in.
Well done. Don't put it in your pocket.
Sir?
Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Where you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin. Which it is.
What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss? Sir, the most you ever lost in a coin toss.
He's busy on the phone. He utilizes one of the primary tools in his arsenal, caution and stealth. He quietly slips his legs under his handcuffs and approaches the deputy without making a sound before he strangles him with ruthless brutality. While the deputy is struggling against his handcuffs, Anton's face is a mask of pure fury, with a hint of delight mixed in. Once he finishes, he calmly washes his hands and casually strolls over the deputy's dead body to pick up his things before leaving. The rage while he's struggling with the deputy isn't seen again during the entire film, but the stealth, ruthlessness, and lack of emotion are present in the majority of scenes in which we find Anton. Now that we've established all of that, the first thing I'd like to touch on is his motivations. He appears to contain no discernible motive or purpose in his mission. Instead, it appears that he's doing this job simply for the thrill of the hunt. I say this because to me, it's never quite clear if he's chasing Llewellyn to take the money for himself, or to complete the job. In one scene, he shoots his employer for hiring the Mexicans to hunt after Moss alongside him, chastising the accountant for his former superior's inability to see that for a job, you only need choose the one right tool. It could very well be that even though he's murdered one of the men at that company, he would still deliver the case back to them. Since he never expressly states that he desires to claim the money for himself, I think it's within his character to be a person who isn't concerned with money, and is rather, like I said, in it for the thrill of the hunt. He never kills at random. However, when he's playing the game of chance with the gas station clerk, I can't see a discernible reason for him doing this. Perhaps he does so out of disgust. He scoffs when he finds out the man married into his business after all. That may play into his reasonings, but ultimately I think he does so for pleasure. He's just playing a game with the man. He obviously didn't need to kill him, as he gave him the option of living. If it had been necessary, he would be dead. Instead, I believe this may be one of the ways Anton gets his kicks, and serves as one of the few things he does without an intended goal in mind. Though we do see him play with his food, so to speak, a number of times throughout the film, such as with Carson, Llewellyn, and Carla Jean. Another thing he lives by that defines his philosophy is pragmatism. He's careful with everything he does, and he's obsessed with using the right tool for a job. His conversation with Carson supports this, as he states, if the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
Yes, sir?
I'm looking for Llewellyn Moss.
Did you go up to his trailer?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'd say he's at work. Do you want to leave a message?
Where does he work?
I can't say.
Where does he work?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to give out no information about our residents.
Where does he work?
Did you not hear me? We can't give out no information.
This man doesn't make any unnecessary moves, or place himself under any limitations that could lead him astray, and finds a way to accomplish his goal in the most efficient manner possible. Careless is not a word I would use to describe Anton. With the assumption that he's on this mission to eventually return the money to his boss, we can also assume that he is in a way a loyal man. This is sort of apparent when he doesn't kill the accountant in the office building, as the accountant didn't really do anything wrong, but he did see him, and he killed other people in the film who had seen him so they wouldn't go to the police. But I think because the accountant didn't do anything wrong, and he belongs to his own organization, he doesn't kill him out of principle. He's such a loyal man to his organization that he's cleansing his workplace of bad components that will only cause further damage the longer they're left out to rust. I think this is a pretty accurate summation of what Anton's values are, demented as they are. What I'd like to touch on now is the things that Anton lacks, namely a regard for human life, remorse, and empathy. If Anton had to kill a screaming little girl who in some way was in the way of him accomplishing his goals, he would do so without hesitation or a hint of remorse for his actions. He is a psychopath through and through, containing nothing we see in his character that is the least bit redeemable. The only halfway decent quality he has is loyalty, and that's not enough to paint him as anything less than a total psychopath. I don't know if I can go so far as to call him bloodthirsty though. I believe he enjoys killing. I feel confident in saying that, but he never kills just to kill. There's always some twisted purpose associated with the murder he commits. I'll refer back to what I said earlier. I think he enjoys the thrill of the hunt more than the act of killing itself.
In the backseat singing like a bird stranger on the mountain, hanging on your words, walking in the night where everything is good. Oh no. Forget what you told me. She's clothing.
Holy shit.
So what do all of these things make Anton Chigurh? It makes him an otherworldly enigma, a monster of warped principle who hunts his target with ruthless, relentless determination, capable of killing anyone and anything in his path until he reaches his goal. His lack of compassion, remorse, or empathy leave us with a character who has but one redeemable quality among a sea of terror. For this reason, I believe Anton is more than deserving of being labeled evil, and a monster who has no regard for any life but his
I
own.
travelled north without delay, and found lodgings in a ramshackle inn overlooking the expansive bay of Cullen. In the evening I sedated myself with drams of whisky and partook of a supper consisting mainly of my window offered a view of the sea to the north, and to the west the mountains of Caithness looming blackly with dim prominence against the far horizon. In thrall to this wondrous, eldritch place, I succumbed to a peculiar bout of melancholy, as if I'd received a call from some distant land
that was inviting me, imploring me, to abandon myself to its mournful beck, and to let my spirit drift over the vastness of the sea into the uncharted depths of space beyond.